What's going on, everybody? Thanks for checking out the High School Never Ends YouTube channel. We appreciate you joining us here in a brand new platform for the first time with some bonus High School Never Ends content.
This is so weird. I can't believe they could see us. But, guys, so what we really wanted to do is find some additional ways to connect with our listeners, chat with guests. So, this is what we came up with. So you'll probably see one of these every month or so. So I guess, with that said, here we go.
Yeah, and, for the first one to kick it off, I think Chris and I both thought it was super fitting that we invite Steve and Justin Stewart, Stu, our buds from Port Maria, formerly Category 5, and they're hanging out together. As you can see, they're doing some musical stuff. So, boys, welcome. Say hello to the YouTubes.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Got it.
We can see
good
you.
to have you.
We have one forwards hat and one backwards hat. And
that's how we do, man.
I believe that you are not in your home states of either Pennsylvania. Oh, wait. Yeah, Pennsylvania or New Jersey.
That's true. We are in Buffalo, New York right now. We rented a place in a very residential neighborhood, and we turned
very residential
this extremely nice house into our own personal studio. We probably loaded in.
There's a lot of gear.
There's a lot of gear. There's so much gear, and this room is extremely hot.
Yeah,
but
we have to turn all the gear off for 30-40 minutes and escape, and then come back up to do work again.
But we have 10 to 12 songs, so we're working on our album. We're basically trying to get all the lyrics written right now, which is the worst part.
It's difficult, but we're not going to have anything finished this weekend. We are going to plan to book some time for an actual studio for vocal production after we're done with this. But we can essentially call this demo week.
So you mentioned you have a lot of gear. For someone who's not in a band, and I'm not a gear nerd, what is a lot of what kind of things do you have with you? You have a guitar and a microphone. What else do you need?
What's a gear nerd?
Somebody who Steve Kelly is definitely a gear nerd, whatever that
is. You guys ever heard of GAS?
Gear acquisition syndrome?
No.
It means you buy a lot of things you don't need.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's obviously me. So
yeah, you definitely got some gas.
Chris, you can absolutely relate to this. Chris, man, if you ever wander from action figures into the 500 series for recording equipment, there are a lot of compressors and preamps and EQs
and debt.
Yeah, all of this can be yours. So, dude, I mean, honestly, I probably took 10 carload trips up into this top floor. We just guitar amps.
I wish we could show all the gear that's around this room right now.
Guitar, bass, just in case we wanted to correct anything. This is kind of the time that we have together to just
a couple different microphones. But by far the best and most useful item we have here is the headphone splitter, which is new.
Super clutch.
Super clutch.
And cost maybe the least of anything.
I bought one of those.
You have to do that because this is your opportunity, right? You're getting together to do this. So
we both took a full week off of work.
Yeah.
To try to make this album happen. Yeah.
And so traditionally,
you got to get those lyrics written, right? You got to get those lyrics written, right? So,
we did spend we both spent some time writing ahead of time, but then we find ourselves being well, this one line that we wrote weeks ago kind of works here. How do we flesh that out? And God, it takes a long time.
It's a grind, but we're making some pretty good progress, to be honest. I mean, we're essentially hanging the lyrics on a song each day at this point, maybe one and a half songs a day at this point. So we're actually doing pretty well, and really excited about some of the stuff we've come up with. Some really, really good choruses, some good melodies. We're pretty pumped, actually.
Are they sad lyrics or are they happy lyrics, or a little bit of both?
A little. I wouldn't say any of it's really sad. There's definitely some upbeat stuff. We did one today, actually, that's pretty dark. I wouldn't call it sad. It's dark, serious content. But nothing. If you're talking like super emo stuff,
There's nothing super emo.
None of that. No.
Yeah.
We're not gonna cry when we hear it.
Just no. We haven't gotten to those songs yet. I'm waiting.
And so I guess this thing that you guys are doing, rent an Airbnb, and because you have this GASS, GASS,
gear acquisition syndrome,
just one S,
right?
Yeah,
just one gear acquisitions. Okay, got it. So this replaces like what someone might have to do 15 or 20 years ago, like renting a studio space. Like this, essentially, you have your gear, right? So this kind of replaces that.
I would love it to, but what we found is that like we're still ending up with demos. Like these don't sound as good as like when we went and worked with Mike Ottinger to do Lights Out and Turn to Ghosts and East Coast and Scrabble. Like my stuff doesn't sound that tight yet, but we're getting good demos, and that's the important part.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have to keep each other motivated throughout the week? Like, you know, I know it's obviously you can't tell the future, but let's say, you know, who's the one that has to say to the other a lot, like, hey man, let's just continue on, or let's do this, let's get this going.
I'm the one that's pushing to keep working in general. I feel like our time is precious, and I just I am always the one that's pushing for more time in front of the notebooks, the computer, and the microphone.
And I'm probably the one that like is a little bit more reclusive, where I'm like, I need some space, I just want to write, or like give me 10-15 minutes to just like sit and think about something.
Yeah.
And I would say that like we do a good job balancing each other out.
Well,
give or take, like
you've been doing this together for what is it, 15 years, 20 years? I don't know the number, but it's been a long time that you've done this, right?
We've been in bands and recording music for 20 years at this point, yes. But for us to do Port Maria and sort of this, I don't want to call it a side project at this point, because it's something we're pursuing as an actual project, an actual band. It's been a couple of years, 4 at this point.
More than that, dude. It's been like 7.
Yeah, but since we made it serious, I think. Since we're like, yeah, we're doing this.
Okay, first songs we recorded were like my wedding, so that's 7 years ago. And then
the only person who had them on their phone was like me, probably. Hey, Chris.
And me.
Chris, don't these guys, now that we have the video on and everyone can see, don't they really look like Jay and Silent Bob like right now?
What?
You guys look like Jay and Silent Bob. Steve Kelly's got the Silent Bob look.
Why? Because
you got the Jay look. No, it's like the forward hat with the backward hat. He's got the beard. I don't know. I'm just feeling like a Jay and Silent Bob vibe right now.
Well,
I can see it.
We've
Minus
never
the
done
silence.
a podcast. We've never done a podcast like where anybody can see us, right? So this is
Neither have we.
Yeah, that's true. They're just finding out what you guys look like too.
Are you cool with that? Are you cool with being compared to Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith? I
don't know.
You don't know.
Honestly,
that's a good answer. Go ahead.
I need to get off this winter weight, and maybe that was a little motivation.
Oh no, Kevin Smith is super skinny now. That had nothing to do with it. It was kind of the beard and the hat.
He's oddly skinny. Yeah, it's offsetting because of what I remember him to be, but cool stuff. I imagine like going into this weekend though, you guys had some stuff ready to go, some material written. I would assume also that potentially there could be a bonus track on this CD that could be that Old Lang Syne song that you wrote for the New Year's episode, potentially.
Maybe, man. Maybe.
We'll see. There's a couple other songs that we have that are half done that we're kind of thinking about tossing on this record. It really depends on how many of these we get done and really like and pick, Okay. So I don't know. We'll see.
And so
it could be 12 songs long. It could be 10.
And any particular reason why you guys picked an Airbnb in Buffalo, New York? Nothing against Buffalo. It just seems to be kind of a random spot. What drew you there?
Super big wing enthusiasts, both of us. So
we were trying to pick a place, number one, that we've never been to, right? So we actually haven't had a chance yet. We've only been here for just about 2 days. But we haven't had a chance to like explore the city or do anything. Tomorrow we're going to hit up some breweries. But But our whole goal was to just get out of our houses, get away from places we know. And we are kind of in the middle of nowhere right now, to be honest with you. And it's awesome because there's no distractions.
Well, it's a big school there. So, I mean, I don't know how close you are to SUNY Buffalo, but I mean, there's a shitload of people there.
We are technically in what I have understood is Kaisertown, kind of near South Buffalo. And it almost seems like a town that popped up in like the 50s, like down the street from a factory, maybe. I don't know. Very residential though. Reminds me of like hanging out in my grandparents' neighborhood, honestly.
I was gonna say Westview from WandaVision. I don't know who watched that. That's what I
I didn't, but sure.
I didn't either.
I'm the only
Sorry,
one.
man.
Come on. Continue.
Yeah, dude, it's been pretty cool. We had some chances to go out and get wings. We had a drink at a bar where we paid $2.50 for a Bud Light. That was pretty awesome.
This is such like benign, like
a drink at a bar
options.
these days is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah,
it was highlight of my week.
You get inspiration though from something like that, just something random that you do. Maybe you get inspiration from something that you encounter out in an area where you have no idea where you're going, what's around you. That's really cool. I thought you had some kind of connection with Buffalo when I heard that. I said, why are these going there? So you're just going there because it was just like a blank slate. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty
And they
awesome.
like wings, Buffalo wings.
the only thing that's in Buffalo that I love is Every Time I Die, and I just hope I run into them somewhere around here.
You might.
Yeah, probably not, but yeah, I was gonna come up here. They do Every Time I Die does like a Christmas party thing where they have like studio wrestling and then they're playing on a stage nearby. And I almost went to that like 2 years ago, but quarantine happened. So
I think I visited the university there once for like a day or something, but that was about it.
What university? Buffalo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't even know that was in a university. I never heard of that.
So growing up in New York, there are a handful of SUNY schools, State University of New York.
Here's the New York stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, it's just a fact. There's the State University of New York. So there's like, a handful of schools that you can go to at a discounted price. Some assholes decide to go to Penn State and spend like double the price going to another state's school like me. But you could go to SUNY Buffalo or Albany or Oneonta or Stony Brook. And these are like the places where they have, they're big college towns because all those places I named are kind of, that's the thing in the town is the college. So had some good experiences at some of those SUNY schools just as a visitor.
They have bacon, egg, and cheeses there too, correct?
It's probably not the same as the water from Long Island and the Five Boroughs, but they sell bacon, egg, and cheeses in rural Philadelphia suburbs where I am. So
yeah,
they have
guys, we talked to somebody from New York, specifically from Long Island, probably like every other episode. I don't know how that happens, but we end up talking about something related to a bacon, egg, and cheese or something, just stereotypical Long Island. I'm trying to get away from that, to be honest with you, because it's kind of.
But you keep bringing it up.
I am now technically from New Jersey, which is difficult for me to reconcile with. But Tara and I kind of just like we're slowly accepting it. I gotta say, man, Taylor ham, unreal. I'd need that in my life from now on. Like if I move away from New Jersey, I will miss Taylor ham.
Wow. Strong statement.
I don't even know what Taylor ham is.
Is that like a type of ham?
Find out, man.
Yeah.
It's a quasi-fermented like pork.
Pork roll is the other terminology for it.
Yeah.
Do you call it pork roll or do you call it Taylor ham? But
I forget which one I'm
same
supposed to call it, but I call it Taylor ham, and it's great.
I just call it bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
But I want Taylor ham. I don't want bacon.
So what's the ultimate goal this week, guys? What are you gonna do?
If we got like 7 or 8 songs done, it would be a big win for us. I think like that would be huge. So this is our board.
You guys can see this here.
I was totally going to ask you if we could peep that out. I saw it on Instagram. I want to see.
Dude,
like,
so
did you? I mean,
this is the name of every demo on.
We can't read it.
We're messing around. Yeah, and so what we did is like we went and we wrote like we need a chorus we need a verse, we need a second verse. All the pieces of words that we have to like string together have like a box on that for every song, and then yeah, we're basically just going through and trying to like check off everything for the songs, or identify like we don't have a bridge for this one yet.
Yeah.
Now, when you say you don't have a bridge or you don't have a chorus, Steve, do you have the guitar and the bass parts already done for these songs? Or are you working on that now? Is this week a lyrical journey for you, or is it also trying to put together? All right, so you have the kind of the not bass as far as bass, but you have like the bass as far as the instrumentals are concerned.
We have everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
So Tyler from A Great Big Pile of Leaves did drums for me at his studio, and then I recorded bass, all the guitars. There's a handful of like synths, and then Justin's brother Ryan like sent me some better key stuff. Like he's a really good keyboard player, instrumentalist, producer.
My brother's a composer, so he's a brilliant musician. So he will sometimes write a few little pieces that get tucked into the tracks. So
it just adds a little like flair to the songs.
yeah.
And then yeah, so basically like all the music is kind of locked in, which I think helps.
In some cases, it's been detrimental because we kind of wish that we could shorten a section.
Or Justin wishes he could double a chorus at the end, and I'm like, fuck off, man.
Yeah, but that's part of the journey, you know. Like we've a lot of the music that's done now has been in some form or fashion a song for about 3 years. It's only been the last 12 months during quarantine where all the guitars, all the extra little additives we put in, the drums, the bass has gotten finished.
To be fair, 5 of them were written probably like March through May last year. So
yeah.
Those we had limited amount of time to kick around. Like, I don't like that idea. I don't like the song structure is basically the same. So, like, yeah.
But we are shooting for possibly realistically like late July, early August to put the whole thing out.
Wow. Okay.
I think fall. I think we're looking at like October, guys.
I'm just saying, like once we've got vocals done, if we get them done at the end of June, completely, we got mixing time. I mean,
Cover art.
yeah.
I know that you have a picture of some bricks or some tiles somewhere that's going to be the cover art. That's probably already done.
Maybe I need
Probably
to like,
that's probably accurate, Steve.
Or flowers.
You know his art.
when Tara and I like
Or
took
flowers.
our honeymoon, or when I went to Portugal, I was like, yo, maybe I'll just take pictures of tiles. And guess what, guys? Who's having the last laugh now? Royalty-free artwork.
Can I give a suggestion? Take a picture of Chris's figures behind him. That could be the album cover. That would be pretty.
That sounds like a very Category 5 esque.
I was going to say that's like the cover art for our very first album.
Let's take a bunch
ever.
of stuff. Let's put it on a table. Let's snap a picture of it.
It's a bunch. Yeah, I got to organize that stuff before you guys do any of that stuff. So just give me some time. I'll work on it. It's just not where I need it to be right now. But yeah,
That cover art was cool, but it was, you know,
It could just as easily be that fleshlight that I told you about with the Eli Manning action figure in it.
How do you like how do you as a band like? How
Thank
do
you
guys,
for switching the subject.
No, because how do you figure that out? Like, how do you know what makes sense as cover art? I never knew how bands just pick something.
Dude, I will say, like, I listened to the Tired Radio one. I cared very much about, like, listening to that interview with you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. And I love that you honed in on that artwork, and I love that he explained the story of, like, I just found something, and it's just, like, it was so weird. It just spoke to me. I'm waiting to have that moment with something where I'm like, I can't live without this being, like, the cover of an album. But then I also have, like, a couple friends who do artwork that I really like that I would think about approaching for something like that. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. So, a lot of bands have some friend that's an artist that does things for them. It doesn't necessarily have a meaning, but Steve does like He likes brick. He likes
Tiles,
I like tile.
flowers.
what are the little swirly
Paisley.
paisleys? Steve likes paisleys, so there'll probably be some paisleys hidden there somewhere.
So one thing that may come into effect is
It's
there
true.
a working title for this album yet, or is that not
No,
just
dude,
yet?
we have fights about naming the songs.
Yep.
Stu was like, "Can we change this from Quarantine Music 7 to like something real?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Not yet, absolutely not." So we're gonna want to live in the content, I think, a little bit before like, I don't know, unless like we just name it something stupid like.
Well,
My daughter provided a name for one of those songs, so that better end
Oh,
up
dude.
on one of those. Better be there.
100%.
All right.
it will. Yes.
Yeah. I want to know what that is, but you can tell me offline if you don't want to announce it now.
I
Love that
have it
cat.
in a text message. Oh man,
That's a great cat.
he's a
People can
great
see
cat.
us. He's
Hey.
he's very heavy. He's very heavy.
How's the dog doing?
He's old, man. My dog is
I
very
know
old.
he's old.
He's coming up
Wait.
on his 15th birthday, and
Dude.
yeah,
That's the same dog you had since like right after college?
Dude, he got it right after college.
2006. I rescued him from
Oh.
from the Center County SPCA, and 2021. So he's like 15, 16. This coming up in about a month. Actually, he's got a birthday that's really close to Stu's. That's how I remember it. But yeah, he can't really hear like almost at all. He can just hear whistling, and he can't see all that well either. But we're keeping him comfortable. He seems pretty happy, and he's being okay.
You ever mess with him? Because he can't hear and see.
You don't need to mess with. No, absolutely not. Because it's like, in order to get him up, I'm like, if I yelled like Dexter, like he won't even come. He can't hear me. Like the only thing he can hear is if I whistle and if I'm like close to him. And then the not being able to see that much is just kind of sad because he like bumps into shit that he probably shouldn't bump into. And like, I'm not going to encourage that. I might giggle if it's funny, but I don't want to. He's a good boy. He's been with me a long time.
Damn,
He,
he really
he
has,
is a
man.
good
That's
boy.
awesome.
I don't know if your audience knows here, but Steve routinely asks me to perform rectal exams on his dog when I go over there.
That's a
Yeah,
weird thing to
it's-
say. That is weird, dude.
Steve, that's a weird thing to do, man.
That's a weird thing to ask, man.
Why would
That
you
is-
ask that of him?
That is
That's-
strange that he would even make up some sort of story. I mean, he's a vet, so if anyone was going to perform any exam on a dog, a veterinarian should do that.
Don't
But
let
I
him
don't know
dodge it.
why. I don't know why anyone would ask for something as strange as that.
I feel like, as a co-host on this show, you should, if you have those thoughts, run it past me and I'll give you my advice on whether or not you should continue to ask for things like that.
listen, I'll always ask for free veterinary care.
No, that's different.
That's why I'm friends with him for 20 years, because he's a vet and he can help me out. I take him
Yeah.
a picture or something, like, hey, is this okay? Hey, do I need to go to the vet?
Dude,
He's
we
like,
do the same thing.
he's like,
Tara's
leave-
always like, "Can you message Stu about like this menial thing?" I'm like, he doesn't care. Like, it's fine.
Thank you.
The dog is
Thank
fine.
you for sparing me that, because I don't always need to work when I'm not at work.
Sorry, Stu. I won't do that to you unless you can
It's
do
okay.
something about dead goldfish. Can you do anything about dead goldfish? 'Cause I don't.
No,
Chris, we had a party in college where somebody thought it was a really good idea to put a bunch of goldfish in a bathtub
at your house.
at our place. Well, to be fair, my dad he's a contractor, and like sometimes he would
I
build
remember that party.
model homes, and one time they put like huge koi fish in a bathtub. It was very luxurious looking.
Very nice.
This was in the early 2000s. This type of thing
That was a
not
wild
passe
party.
yet.
That was a wild party.
And
Steve, what happened
I
at the end
thought-
of that party?
well, I thought like, oh, we should do the same thing, except in our like crappy apartment bathtub. Let's go get some tiny goldfish. And we got like 3 bags full, put them in the water, did not let them acclimate. They all died. And then somebody was like, I'm pretty drunk. I think that you should beer bong all those goldfish. And so one kid like took a whole beer bong
Who
of dead
was that?
goldfish to the
Wait,
stomach.
are you serious? That's not how
Yeah.
I remembered. Maybe you might have done this more than once. I just remember.
My buddy Mark Parzik did that.
I think you ate. I remember you swallowing 3 live goldfish. I don't
That
remember
sounds about right.
Hold on.
I'm
anyone
sure
eating
I got
dead
in on
ones.
it.
Back up.
I do not remember this.
Yeah, that happened.
Just okay. So you're telling me that this individual not only beer bonged goldfish, but also bathwater that was in the bathtub?
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to vouch for how clean that bathtub was.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's really gross. And the fish I could see, because we all eat fish. We all enjoy a fish every once in a while, right? Here and there.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us can really pass judgment because we all went to Penn State and probably did some sort of stupid shit somewhere or
I
another.
didn't. That's a yeah.
I'm not going to shy away from the
Nobody's
dirtbag
passing
period of my
judgment
life.
here.
I'm
though.
not
It's-
judging it. I mean, we put a baby pool in our living room with sand on the floor, and somebody ended up breaking that baby pool by falling, and water did. It was a tidal wave in my living room, so we did those things.
Was
Yeah,
it
but what about the
carpeted?
sand?
Well, we put plastic down underneath the sand.
Okay, that would have been a nightmare.
But
That
my
still
roommates-
sounds like it was terrible.
dudes, they wanted to end the party. I was like, what are you guys doing? Don't kick everybody out. Like, let's keep going. And they, no, we got to end the party. You don't understand. It's going to be wet and there's sand. I'm like, so, you know, but yeah, the party was ending.
Party on, Chris.
I think the bottom line is that if you expect to get your security deposit back when you're a Penn State student, then you're kind of a fool.
We did. We were sick.
You should just kiss that money goodbye when you put it down. Somebody's going to find a reason. You want financial advice from your buddy Steve from Port Maria?
This is like a, you guys are like on a, not a college getaway, but like, you know, it's cool. You kind of like have your own dorm out there, right?
Yeah,
That vibe.
we're not really partying that hard though. It's
you can't.
no, can't really. But
It's honestly like, it's a different type of work. It's a grind.
it's a grind.
But it's a grind. It's a work that you like to do, right? It's what you want to do.
The thing that keeps you going on it is whenever you nail something really cool, it gets you excited, and then you just kind of keep going. But there are moments in between you're like, ugh, that sucks, that sucks, that sucks, and
we feel pretty confident in man, we feel really good about some of the choruses, or it's just like, yes, I want to sing that. That's huge. Probably the hardest thing for us to do is bridges, and then verses are a pain in the ass. They
Listen,
just are.
At the end of the day, you've put out a ton of songs over the past however many years, whether it was under Category 5 or maybe not that many. You're not MXPX.
A menial amount of songs.
You're not MXPX
Yeah, exactly.
or anything. But listen, you've done it before. You can do it again. I think we both have confidence in you. It's very cool to check in the middle of this project and see how things are going, because now, as our first YouTube episode, we'll be able to go back after this album is out at the absolute latest October, at the absolute earliest July, depending upon who you believe. But we can go back and we can see where it started. So thank you guys so much for participating and taking some time.
man, thank you.
Dude, we
for
love you
having
guys.
us, man.
This is always a blast.
It's really
You're-
fun.
You're the best.
It's really fun.
Thank you. Did you hear that, Steve? You're the best.
You guys are all the best. Chris, you're the best.
Chris, you're the best too. I mean, come on.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm not going to argue with you, but I'll take it.
All right,
But
we're
yeah,
all
go
the
ahead,
best
Steve.
here. I said
Go ahead, Steve.
we're all the best here. So let's wrap this up. Anything last words you guys have to say about the project, about the podcast? Thank you guys for always coming on and chatting with us when we asked you to. It's been great.
Dude, really love this. Steve, you want to stop recording so Chris and we can talk about JRPGs?
Yeah,
Please.
let's do that.
Let's do it.
I will leave this conversation happily and let you guys talk about that. Everybody, listen, thanks for tuning in to our brand new YouTube channel. We don't really know what the hell we're doing. There's probably a subscribe button somewhere. If you press that would be great. Then you'll get notifications.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, yeah.
Ooh, Steve, can I do one more shout out?
Sure.
Our buddy Will Beasley, who is probably gonna mix our album, maybe gonna record some vocals. His band Wild Truth is sick, and everybody should listen to that.
Wild Truth. Is there just look them up on Spotify?
Yeah,
really
they just released a new EP. I think it's called Drift. It's really good. If you like Fall Out Boy, if you like Acceptance, if you like Nick Jonas, I don't know. maybe that's your thing.
That's actually
it's
good.
real good.
That's
The thing is, if Steve Kelly tells me something sucks, I don't necessarily believe him. But if he tells me something is good, I certainly do. So, yeah, you have very good insights as far as that's concerned. So,
It's proven.
Again, like and subscribe, as they say, and we'll do this again sometime soon, and we'll chat, either me and Chris or with a guest. This is our introduction to YouTube. So thanks for joining us. Chris?
Later.
All right. Bye,
cheers.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.